Today, we invite you to explore the profound teachings of the Dhammapada in our segment titled, Shielding the Mind, Cultivating Inner Strength in a Distracted World. Join us on this enlightening journey into the Buddha's wisdom. If you find value in these teachings, please support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps spread this timeless wisdom to others. You can also listen to us on YouTube podcasts with ease. Simply download the YouTube Music app and search for our channel, Buddhist Audiobook Shelf. One of the great benefits of listening through the music podcast is that it uses less battery and data, allowing you to listen while keeping the screen off. Thank you for being with us, and we look forward to sharing more teachings with you. Introduction. In today's fast-paced, highly interconnected world, where our minds are bombarded with information, expectations, and distractions, it is easy to become overwhelmed. We are constantly encouraged to pursue external achievements, whether through career success, material wealth, or social recognition. Amid this relentless pursuit, many people feel disconnected from their inner selves, trapped in cycles of anxiety, stress, and dissatisfaction. Despite the convenience of modern technology and the abundance of resources, we often find ourselves struggling to cope with life's challenges. Ancient wisdom, such as the Buddha's teachings in the Dhammapada, offers a profound solution to this modern predicament. The verse, just as rain breaks through an ill-thatched house, so passion penetrates an undeveloped mind, is a metaphor for how unchecked desires, distractions, and attachments can seep into our minds, causing suffering. The undeveloped mind, like a poorly thatched roof, is vulnerable to the storms of life. This timeless teaching provides a roadmap to cultivate mental strength and resilience, allowing us to navigate today's culture with greater peace and purpose. The influence of external pressures. In modern society, people are constantly exposed to stimuli that shape their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Social media platforms feed us a continuous stream of curated images, promoting the idea that happiness lies in achieving physical beauty, owning luxurious possessions, or reaching a specific level of social status. We are encouraged to compare our lives to others, leading to feelings of inadequacy and dissatisfaction. Furthermore, the rapid pace of life often leaves little room for reflection, as we move from one task to the next, consumed by deadlines, expectations, and external validation. These pressures are akin to the rain in the Buddha's analogy. They penetrate our minds, often without us realizing it, causing emotional turbulence. A mind that is undeveloped, lacking mindfulness, self-awareness, and discipline, becomes a breeding ground for unchecked desires. We begin to believe that our worth is tied to external achievements, that happiness can only be found in fleeting pleasures, and that the constant pursuit of success will bring lasting contentment. However, as many have discovered, the pursuit of external validation often leads to disappointment. Achieving material success or gaining popularity may provide temporary satisfaction, but these moments are quickly followed by the next craving, the next thing to achieve, possess, or experience. This cycle can be exhausting, leaving us feeling empty and disconnected from our true selves. Cultivating inner strength in a distracted world. To counter these modern pressures, we must turn inward and cultivate a mind that is resilient and well protected, much like a properly thatched house that can withstand the rain. The Buddha's teaching reminds us that the quality of our minds determines the quality of our lives. By developing mindfulness, self-awareness, and emotional regulation, we can shield our minds from the distractions and desires that lead to suffering. Mindfulness, in particular, is a powerful practice that has gained widespread recognition in today's society for its ability to enhance mental clarity and emotional well-being. At its core, mindfulness is about being present in the moment, observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment. It allows us to notice when passions, such as anger, jealousy, or desire, begin to take hold, giving us the opportunity to respond with awareness rather than impulsively reacting. For example, imagine scrolling through social media and feeling a pang of jealousy as you see someone else's success. An undeveloped mind might immediately react with resentment, bitterness, or self-criticism. However, with mindfulness, you can observe the feeling of jealousy as it arises, recognize it for what it is, an impermanent emotional state, and choose not to let it control your actions. This simple act of mindful awareness can prevent negative emotions from seeping into your mind, allowing you to maintain peace and clarity. Practices like meditation and journaling are invaluable tools for strengthening mindfulness and self-awareness. By taking time each day to meditate, even for a few minutes, you can train your mind to remain calm and focused in the face of distractions. Meditation provides a space for introspection, where you can observe the patterns of your thoughts and emotions. Over time, this practice builds resilience, enabling you to respond to life's challenges with greater equanimity. Journaling, on the other hand, offers a way to externalize your thoughts and emotions, helping you gain clarity and perspective. Writing about your daily experiences, your struggles, and your reflections on your mental state can help you identify areas where passion may be penetrating your mind. It is a way of thatching the roof of your mental house, reinforcing your inner defenses against the rain of desires, stress, and negative emotions. Mindful consumption, navigating consumerism and media. Another way to apply the Buddha's teaching in today's society is by adopting a practice of mindful consumption. In a world driven by consumerism, we are constantly bombarded with messages that encourage us to buy more, achieve more, and be more. Advertisements and media play on our desires, convincing us that the key to happiness lies in acquiring new possessions, upgrading our lifestyles, or enhancing our appearance. As a result, many people find themselves in a never-ending cycle of consumption, always chasing the next thing that promises fulfillment. However, the more we consume, the more we realize that these external acquisitions rarely bring lasting happiness. The joy of buying a new gadget or achieving a new milestone quickly fades, leaving us craving the next experience or product. This cycle mirrors the rain seeping into an ill-thatched house. Each new desire penetrates the mind, leaving it vulnerable to discontent. Mindful consumption involves being aware of what we are consuming, not just in terms of material goods but also in terms of information, media, and relationships. It means asking ourselves, is this truly necessary? Will this bring me lasting peace, or am I simply trying to fill a void? By practicing mindful consumption, we can protect our minds from being overwhelmed by desires and focus on what truly matters. For instance, instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media, you could set intentional limits on your screen time and engage with content that uplifts and inspires you. Similarly, when making purchases, consider whether the item you are buying aligns with your values and long-term well-being. This conscious approach to consumption helps create a mental environment that is less susceptible to the constant influx of desires and distractions. Emotional regulation and compassion. The Buddha's teaching also emphasizes the importance of developing emotional regulation. Passion, in this context, often refers to unchecked emotions such as anger, jealousy, and greed. These emotions, when left unexamined, can quickly take over the mind, leading to actions that cause suffering for ourselves and others. A well-developed mind, however, is one that can observe these emotions as they arise, understand their impermanent nature, and choose to respond with wisdom and compassion. Compassion is a particularly powerful antidote to negative emotions. When we cultivate compassion toward ourselves and others, we soften the emotional intensity that often accompanies anger, jealousy, or frustration. Instead of reacting with hostility or resentment, we can approach situations with understanding and kindness. This not only helps prevent negative emotions from penetrating the mind but also fosters deeper, more meaningful connections with others. In today's society, where competition and comparison often fuel feelings of inadequacy, practicing compassion can be transformative. By recognizing the shared humanity in others, we can let go of the need to constantly compare ourselves or prove our worth. Instead, we can focus on building relationships based on empathy, mutual respect, and kindness. This shift in perspective helps create a mental space that is more peaceful and less susceptible to the storms of passion. Finding meaning in simplicity. In a culture that values productivity, achievement, and constant growth, it is easy to lose sight of the simple joys that bring true fulfillment. Many people feel pressured to always be doing more, whether it's advancing their careers, expanding their social circles, or accumulating wealth. However, This relentless pursuit often leaves us feeling depleted and disconnected from the present moment. The Buddhist teaching encourages us to find meaning in simplicity. By simplifying our lives and focusing on what truly matters, we can create a mental environment that is more conducive to peace and contentment. This doesn't mean renouncing all worldly possessions or ambitions, but rather being mindful of the intentions behind our actions. Are we pursuing these goals out of a genuine desire for growth and contribution, or are we simply chasing after external validation? For example, instead of constantly striving for the next promotion or material acquisition, you might find fulfillment in nurturing your relationships, practicing gratitude, or dedicating time to a meaningful hobby. By embracing simplicity, we can create space in our lives for reflection, mindfulness, and deeper connections, ultimately protecting our minds from the reign of unchecked desires. Practical application in daily life. The Buddhist teaching, though ancient, provides practical guidance for navigating the complexities of modern life. By applying these principles in our daily routines, we can cultivate a mind that is resilient, peaceful, and protected from the distractions and desires that often lead to suffering. One practical way to start is by incorporating mindfulness practices into your day. Whether through meditation, mindful breathing, or simply taking a few moments to pause and reflect, these practices help anchor your mind in the present moment. Over time, this mindfulness becomes a shield against the constant influx of distractions and desires. Another valuable practice is journaling. By regularly writing about your thoughts, emotions, and experiences, you can gain insight into the patterns that shape your life. Journaling helps you identify areas where passion or negative emotions may be seeping into your mind, allowing you to address these vulnerabilities before they cause harm. Finally, consider adopting a practice of daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on your actions, thoughts, and interactions. Were there moments when you acted out of passion or impulse? How could you have responded differently? By cultivating this habit of self-awareness, you can gradually develop a mind that is more resilient and well-protected. The modern storm. Understanding today's distractions and desires. In the contemporary world, the challenges of daily life often feel like an unrelenting storm. From the moment we wake up, our minds are bombarded with notifications, emails, news alerts, and advertisements, all designed to grab our attention and keep us engaged. In the midst of this digital onslaught, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, lost, or disconnected from what truly matters. We live in a time where external forces, technology, consumerism, social pressures, are shaping our thoughts, desires, and behaviors more than ever before. And yet, despite all the advancements and conveniences of modern life, many people find themselves feeling unfulfilled, anxious, and constantly chasing something more. In Buddhist philosophy, the mind is seen as the architect of our experience. How we perceive and interact with the world is directly influenced by the state of our minds. The Buddhist teaching, just as rain breaks through an ill-thatched house, so passion penetrates an undeveloped mind, serves as a powerful metaphor for the modern human condition. The ill-thatched house represents a mind that has not been developed or fortified against the relentless onslaught of desires and distractions. Just as rainwater seeps through the gaps in a poorly built roof, unchecked passions, desires, and distractions seep into an untrained mind, leading to suffering. In today's world, these passions and distractions take many forms. They can be as obvious as the craving for material possessions, or as subtle as the constant need for validation through social media. Either way, the impact on our mental well-being is profound. To understand how we can protect our minds from these storms, we first need to explore the nature of the modern distractions that dominate our lives. The digital age, a constant battle for our attention. One of the most significant developments of the 21st century is the rise of the internet and digital technology. While these innovations have brought incredible benefits, connecting people across the globe, providing instant access to information, and creating opportunities for learning and collaboration, they have also introduced new challenges to mental health and well-being. Social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are designed to keep users engaged by delivering a constant stream of content. The more time we spend scrolling, liking, and commenting, the more these platforms benefit. The algorithms behind these platforms are carefully crafted to tap into our psychological need for validation, making it easy for us to become addicted to the brief dopamine hits we receive from each like or comment. This constant exposure to curated content, where everyone seems to be living their best life, can lead to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, and self-doubt. We begin to compare ourselves to others, measuring our worth by the number of followers or the perceived success of others. This type of comparison is a form of passion, or craving, that penetrates the mind, causing suffering. It clouds our perception of reality and prevents us from appreciating the present moment or cultivating a sense of inner peace. Moreover, the continuous influx of notifications and updates fragments our attention, making it difficult to focus on any one task for an extended period. This constant distraction not only reduces productivity but also leaves us feeling scattered and mentally exhausted. It's no wonder that many people report higher levels of anxiety and stress in the digital age. Consumerism and the illusion of fulfillment. Another significant source of distraction in modern life is consumerism. Everywhere we look, we are bombarded with advertisements telling us that happiness lies in the next purchase. Whether it's the latest smartphone, a new car, or the trendiest clothing, we are conditioned to believe that acquiring more will make us happier. However, this pursuit of material possessions is a never-ending cycle. Once we obtain the object of our desire, the satisfaction is fleeting, and soon enough, we are chasing after the next thing. This cycle of craving and dissatisfaction is at the heart of the Buddha's teaching on passion. Just as rain breaks through an ill-thatched house, the endless desire for material goods penetrates an undeveloped mind, leading to suffering. When we attach our happiness to external things, whether it's money, status, or possessions, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. These external sources of happiness are impermanent, and when they inevitably change or disappear, we are left feeling empty and unfulfilled. In today's culture, the pressure to keep up with others is immense. Social media plays a significant role in fueling this consumerism by showcasing the lifestyles of the wealthy and famous. Many people feel a constant need to compare themselves to these idealized images and to measure their worth by their ability to acquire similar status symbols. This comparison leads to feelings of inadequacy, dissatisfaction, and stress, as people find themselves trapped in a cycle of wanting more and more, without ever finding lasting happiness. The pressure of perfection, social comparisons and mental health. In addition to consumerism, the culture of perfectionism plays a significant role in today's mental health crisis. Social media, once again, exacerbates this issue by allowing people to present highly curated versions of their lives. We are constantly exposed to images of perfect bodies, flawless relationships, and seemingly effortless success. The reality, however, is that these portrayals are often far from the truth. Yet, the pressure to live up to these unrealistic standards is real. This pressure can lead to a host of mental health issues, including anxiety, depression, and burnout. People feel that they are constantly falling short, unable to meet the impossible standards set by society. The result is a deep sense of inadequacy and a feeling of being not enough. The Buddhist teaching about passion penetrating the undeveloped mind is especially relevant here. When our minds are not fortified with mindfulness and self-compassion, we become vulnerable to these external pressures. We allow the opinions and judgments of others to dictate our self-worth, leading to suffering. But just as a well-thatched house can withstand the rain, a mind trained in mindfulness and wisdom can resist the penetration of these harmful influences. Real-life applications: building a strong mind in a distracted world. To thrive in today's world, we must learn to build a strong, well-thatched mind, one that is resilient to the storms of distraction, desire, and external pressures. The good news is that there are practical steps we can take to achieve this. Mindfulness and meditation. One of the most effective tools for strengthening the mind is mindfulness. By practicing mindfulness meditation, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without becoming attached to them. This practice helps us recognize when passions, desires, or distractions begin to infiltrate our minds. Instead of reacting impulsively, we can pause, breathe, and respond with awareness. Mindfulness can be practiced in small ways throughout the day. For example, when checking social media, we can ask ourselves, why am I doing this? What am I hoping to gain? By bringing awareness to our habits, we can break free from the automatic behaviors that lead to suffering. Journaling for self-reflection. Journaling is another powerful tool for developing a strong mind. By regularly reflecting on our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we can gain insight into the patterns that drive our behavior. This self-awareness is the first step toward change. At the end of each day, consider writing about the moments when you felt distracted, overwhelmed, or caught up in comparison. Ask yourself, what triggered these feelings? How did I respond? How can I approach similar situations differently in the future? Over time, this practice of self-reflection will help you build a more resilient mind, one that is less susceptible to external pressures and more focused on what truly matters. Intentional living. In a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, it's essential to live with intention. This means being clear about your values and priorities and making decisions that align with them. When we live intentionally, we are less likely to be swayed by external distractions or desires. For example, if you value family and relationships, prioritize spending quality time with loved ones over mindlessly scrolling through social media. If you value creativity, carve out time each day to engage in activities that nourish your creative spirit. Living with intention helps fortify the mind by ensuring that our actions are aligned with our deeper purpose, rather than being driven by fleeting desires or societal pressures. Cultivating gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to the constant craving for more. When we focus on what we already have, we shift our attention away from what we lack. Practicing gratitude can be as simple as taking a few moments each day to reflect on the things you are thankful for. Over time, this practice will help you develop a mindset of abundance, rather than scarcity. A strong mind for a happy, meaningful life. The Buddhist teaching that passion penetrates an undeveloped mind is a reminder of the importance of cultivating inner strength in a world filled with distractions and desires. By practicing mindfulness, journaling, living with intention, and cultivating gratitude, we can build a well-thatched mind, one that is resilient, focused, and capable of navigating the storms of modern life with peace and clarity. Through these practices, we can free ourselves from the constant chase for external validation and discover a deeper, more lasting sense of happiness and fulfillment. Passion, the rain that floods the mind. The analogy of rain penetrating an ill-thatched house from the Buddhist teachings holds a profound relevance in today's fast-paced and distraction-filled world. The rain, in the metaphor, represents passion, strong, often uncontrollable desires or attachments. These passions can take many forms, from material desires like wealth, status, or beauty to emotional attachments like validation, love, and success. Just as rain seeps through a poorly thatched roof, these passions seep into an unguarded mind, leading to stress, dissatisfaction, and suffering. In contemporary society, we are constantly bombarded with messages that amplify our passions. Social media encourages constant comparison, fueling feelings of inadequacy or jealousy. Advertising tells us that happiness is tied to material possessions, while workplace cultures often equate success with overwork and burnout. These elements feed our desires, and without careful attention to the state of our minds, we are prone to being overwhelmed by them. This chapter will explore how unchecked passions, like rain on an unprotected roof, can flood the mind and lead to mental and emotional suffering. It will also discuss how, with mindfulness and deliberate practices, we can develop a mind strong enough to resist these distractions and live a life rooted in peace and meaning. The allure of modern passions. Passion, in the Buddhist sense, refers not just to romantic or physical desire but to any kind of attachment or craving that disturbs the mind's equilibrium. In today's society, these passions often manifest in subtler, more pervasive forms that can be difficult to recognize. The pursuit of wealth, fame, beauty, or success, while not inherently negative, can become destructive when these desires take control of our thoughts and actions. For instance, the culture of social media has created a constant need for validation. Many people measure their self-worth by the number of likes, comments, or followers they receive online. This desire for external approval can lead to anxiety, depression, and a distorted sense of identity. Similarly, the pressure to achieve financial or professional success often drives individuals to overwork, sacrificing their well-being, relationships, and even integrity in the process. In this context, the Buddha's analogy of rain penetrating an ill-thatched house takes on new meaning. When we allow our minds to be ruled by these external desires, we leave ourselves vulnerable to emotional storms, feelings of inadequacy, envy, or burnout. These desires are like rain, incessantly seeping into our minds and weakening our sense of inner peace. The impact of unchecked passion on mental health. One of the most noticeable consequences of unchecked passions is the impact on mental health. Modern life, with its focus on achievement, acquisition, and outward appearances, often leads to feelings of stress, anxiety, and depression. These emotions are exacerbated when our desires are not met or when we fail to live up to the expectations set by society or even ourselves. Consider the example of someone who is obsessed with success at work. Their passion for achievement may initially motivate them, but over time, it can become a source of suffering. If they fail to get a promotion or recognition, feelings of worthlessness or failure may arise. Even when they do achieve success, the satisfaction is often fleeting, leading to a never-ending cycle of chasing the next goal. In this way, the rain of passion continues to flood the mind, creating emotional turmoil and dissatisfaction. This issue is particularly prevalent in the age of social comparison, where we are constantly exposed to the curated lives of others. Seeing the apparent success, beauty, or happiness of others on social media can amplify feelings of inadequacy. These comparisons, driven by passion for validation and acceptance, can leave individuals feeling unworthy or unsatisfied with their own lives. The mind becomes clouded with envy, insecurity, and self-doubt, further weakening its ability to find peace. Coping with the storm. Practical tools for managing passion. The Buddha's teachings on how passion penetrates the mind offer not just a diagnosis of the problem but a path toward its solution. By strengthening the mind through mindfulness, self-awareness, and deliberate practice, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of unchecked desires. Here are several practical tools that can help individuals cultivate a more resilient mind in today's world. Mindfulness meditation. The practice of mindfulness is one of the most effective ways to become aware of our thoughts and emotions before they spiral out of control. When we practice mindfulness, we learn to observe our desires, impulses, and passions without immediately acting on them. By simply acknowledging the presence of a craving or attachment, we create space between the stimulus and our response. This space allows us to make conscious, deliberate decisions rather than being driven by our impulses. For instance, when you find yourself craving recognition on social media, take a moment to pause and reflect. What is it you're truly seeking? Is it external validation, or is there an unmet emotional need that lies beneath the surface? By practicing mindfulness, you can develop the clarity to understand the root cause of your desires and choose whether or not to pursue them. Journaling. Writing down your thoughts, feelings, and desires can be an incredibly powerful way to gain insight into the nature of your passions. Journaling allows you to reflect on your experiences and identify patterns in your thinking and behavior. Over time, you may begin to notice recurring themes in your journal entries, perhaps a tendency to seek approval from others or a habit of comparing yourself to those around you. By bringing these patterns into conscious awareness, you can begin to dismantle them. A simple journaling practice could involve writing down moments when you feel overwhelmed by desire or passion. For each entry, ask yourself, what was I feeling? What triggered this feeling? How did I react? By answering these questions, you can start to identify the situations that trigger your passions and develop strategies for managing them more effectively. Mindful consumption. In a society that encourages overconsumption, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that happiness lies in acquiring more possessions, more experiences, more recognition. Practicing mindful consumption involves making conscious choices about what you bring into your life, whether it's material goods, media, or even relationships. Before making a purchase or engaging in an activity, ask yourself, Does this align with my values? Will this bring me long-term happiness or just temporary satisfaction? For example, before purchasing a new gadget or clothing item, take a moment to reflect on whether you truly need it. Are you buying it because it will genuinely improve your life, or because you've been influenced by societal pressures or advertising? By practicing mindful consumption, you can begin to break free from the cycle of desire and cultivate a sense of contentment with what you already have. Compassion and self-compassion. One of the reasons passion so easily penetrates the mind is that we often equate our self-worth with external achievements or appearances. When we fail to meet these standards, we can be harsh and critical of ourselves. Cultivating compassion, both for ourselves and others, helps to reduce the intensity of these passions. By recognizing that we are all human, subject to desires and imperfections, we can treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. When you feel consumed by passion, whether it's a desire for success, love, or approval, practice self-compassion. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment and remind yourself that you are not defined by your desires. This practice can help you develop a sense of inner peace and resilience, even in the face of unmet desires. Real-life applications for a balanced mind. The teachings of the Buddha are not meant to be abstract concepts, they are meant to be lived and practiced in daily life. Here are some real-life applications that can help you build a mind that is resilient to the storms of passion. Digital detox. In a world dominated by screens, taking regular breaks from technology can help reduce the influence of external desires. Set aside time each day to disconnect from social media, email, and other digital distractions. Use this time to reconnect with yourself, engage in meaningful activities, or simply rest. Gratitude practice. Developing a sense of gratitude for what you already have can help counteract the desire for more. Each day, take a few moments to reflect on the things in your life that bring you joy and fulfillment. By focusing on the positive aspects of your life, you can cultivate a sense of contentment and reduce the urge to chase after fleeting pleasures. Physical activity. Engaging in regular physical activity, such as yoga, walking, or exercise, can help clear the mind and release built-up tension. Physical movement can also serve as a form of mindfulness, helping you stay present in the moment and connected to your body. By incorporating these practices into your daily life, you can begin to build a stronger, more resilient mind, one that is capable of withstanding the storms of passion and remaining peaceful amidst the distractions of modern society. The ill-thatched house. The vulnerabilities of an untrained mind. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by external stimuli, advertisements, social media notifications, emails, and the endless pursuit of success and pleasure. These forces are more intense and pervasive than they were in the Buddha's time, yet the fundamental nature of the human mind remains unchanged. Just like a poorly thatched house is vulnerable to rainwater seeping in, a mind that is untrained or undeveloped becomes vulnerable to the pressures and distractions of modern life. The untrained mind is not fortified against the floods of desires, stress, anxiety, and suffering that today's world continually sends our way. The Buddha's analogy of the ill-thatched house is simple yet profound. It is a call to protect and strengthen our minds against the inevitable downpour of life's challenges. But what does an undeveloped mind look like in today's culture? And how can we begin to cultivate the mental strength necessary to shield ourselves from the mental and emotional rain? The nature of the untrained mind. The modern untrained mind is one that reacts impulsively to every stimulus, whether it's a desire for material wealth, validation from others, or the pressures of societal expectations. It's a mind that hasn't been fortified by self-awareness, mindfulness, or wisdom, leaving it susceptible to being swept away by emotional turbulence. Imagine starting your day by scrolling through social media, where you're instantly exposed to a flood of images and ideas. You see friends achieving goals, influencers promoting lifestyles, and advertisements selling happiness in the form of products. This barrage of information can stir up a range of emotions: jealousy, inadequacy, longing, or even self-doubt. If the mind is untrained, these emotions can quickly take root, influencing how you feel about yourself, your worth, and your life. Without realizing it, you're comparing yourself to others, feeling that you're not enough or that you need more to be happy. An undeveloped mind doesn't just fall victim to these external influences, it often feeds them. When we haven't trained ourselves to pause, reflect, and understand the fleeting nature of emotions, we end up chasing after temporary fixes. We buy more things, seek more validation, and distract ourselves from deeper issues. Over time, this pattern creates a life filled with stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. One common manifestation of the untrained mind in today's society is the addiction to busyness. Many people feel that they need to be constantly productive, always achieving something new, or filling every moment with activity. But this drive for productivity often stems from an inability to sit quietly with oneself, to face the discomfort of stillness. The untrained mind equates worth with doing, rather than being. This obsession with busyness leads to burnout, anxiety, and a constant sense of being overwhelmed. Another aspect of the undeveloped mind is its vulnerability to strong emotions like anger, fear, and jealousy. Modern life is filled with triggers that provoke these emotions, whether it's a frustrating interaction at work, a political debate, or the fear of missing out on opportunities. An untrained mind allows these emotions to take over, clouding judgment and leading to impulsive actions that often result in more harm than good. We lash out in anger, make decisions out of fear, or feel envious of others' success, all of which only deepen our suffering. The role of mindfulness in cultivating mental resilience. Mindfulness is one of the most effective tools for developing a mind that can withstand the pressures of modern life. At its core, mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It helps us become aware of our thoughts, emotions, and reactions, allowing us to observe them without being controlled by them. In doing so, we create a mental buffer that shields us from being overwhelmed by external stimuli. For example, instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media and absorbing its emotional impact, a mindful person can observe their thoughts and feelings as they arise. They might notice a twinge of jealousy when seeing someone else's success or a sense of inadequacy when comparing themselves to others. But instead of letting those feelings take control, they acknowledge them, understand that they are temporary, and let them go. This awareness prevents the mind from being flooded with negative emotions and helps maintain emotional balance. Mindfulness can also be applied to how we respond to challenges. When faced with stressful situations, an untrained mind often reacts impulsively, either by trying to fix the problem immediately or by becoming overwhelmed and anxious. A mindful approach, however, allows us to pause, take a step back, and assess the situation with clarity. By observing our emotions and thoughts without rushing to judgment, we gain the space needed to respond thoughtfully, rather than react out of fear or frustration. Incorporating mindfulness into daily life doesn't require extensive meditation sessions or retreats. It can start with small, simple practices like mindful breathing, where we focus on our breath to anchor ourselves in the present moment. This can be done anytime, while waiting in line, during a break at work, or even before responding to an emotional email. Each time we practice mindfulness, we strengthen our ability to withstand the mental rain of distractions and desires. Practical ways to fortify the mind. The process of fortifying the mind is like learning to thatch a house properly. It requires patience, practice, and effort. There are many practical ways to begin cultivating a resilient mind that can withstand the pressures of today's world. Journaling for self-awareness. Keeping a journal is an excellent way to track your thoughts and emotions over time. Writing down your experiences allows you to step back and reflect on patterns of behavior and thought. This helps you identify the triggers that lead to negative emotions like anger or jealousy and allows you to see them more clearly. Over time, journaling can become a tool for self-awareness, helping you recognize when your mind is being overwhelmed by external pressures. Setting boundaries with technology. In today's culture, technology is both a blessing and a curse. It connects us, provides information, and offers entertainment, but it also overwhelms us with distractions and constant demands for attention. One way to protect the mind is by setting boundaries with technology. This could involve designated, tech-free times, turning off notifications, or setting limits on social media use. By creating space from the digital world, you give your mind room to breathe and recover from the constant barrage of stimuli. Practicing gratitude. A key element of mental resilience is the ability to shift focus from what we lack to what we have. Gratitude practices, such as listing 3 things you're thankful for each day, can help rewire the brain to focus on positive experiences rather than dwelling on dissatisfaction. Gratitude fosters a sense of contentment, which is crucial for preventing the mind from being constantly driven by desires and cravings. Mindful consumption. Mindful consumption goes beyond just food. It applies to the media we consume, the conversations we engage in, and the products we buy. In a consumer-driven society, we are often led to believe that buying more things will bring us happiness. But the untrained mind, driven by desires, can fall into the trap of overconsumption. By practicing mindful consumption, we become more intentional about what we bring into our lives, ensuring that it adds value rather than cluttering our minds and homes. Developing compassion. Compassion is a powerful tool for training the mind to resist the negative emotions that arise from comparison, competition, and judgment. When we practice compassion, both for ourselves and for others, we become less likely to fall into the traps of jealousy, anger, or resentment. Compassion helps us recognize the shared humanity in others, allowing us to connect on a deeper level and reducing the emotional turbulence that often accompanies feelings of isolation or inferiority. Real-life application. Living with intention. One of the most practical ways to develop a resilient mind is by living with intention. In modern society, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of daily tasks, obligations, and distractions. But living with intention means pausing to ask ourselves, what do I truly want from life? And, are my actions aligned with my values? Living with intention requires setting clear priorities and making choices that support your long-term well-being, rather than chasing after fleeting pleasures or external validation. It could mean choosing to spend time with loved ones rather than staying late at the office, or opting for a quiet evening of self-care instead of attending yet another social event. By aligning our actions with our values, we protect ourselves from being pulled in 100 different directions by the demands of modern life. Building mental strength, a lifelong practice. Just as thatching a house requires maintenance over time, so does cultivating mental resilience. The mind, like any other part of us, needs continuous care and attention. Through daily practices like mindfulness, journaling, gratitude, and living with intention, we can gradually fortify our minds against the inevitable challenges of life. This doesn't mean we won't experience difficulties or desires, but with a well-trained mind, we will no longer be swept away by them. The Buddhist teaching about the ill-thatched house serves as a powerful reminder that our minds are our true refuge. In today's society, where distractions and desires are ever present, we have the opportunity to strengthen our mental roof through mindfulness, self-awareness, and compassion. By doing so, we can lead lives filled with peace, clarity, and purpose, free from the mental storms that threaten to overwhelm us. Thatching the mind. Practical steps for cultivating inner strength. In today's world, where technology, social media, and constant stimulation dominate our lives, our minds are often in a state of distraction. We chase after momentary pleasures, approval from others, and material success, believing that these will bring lasting happiness. Yet, as many have discovered, these external rewards offer only fleeting satisfaction. What truly matters is the state of our inner world, our thoughts, emotions, and the quality of our minds. Just as an ill-thatched house cannot withstand a storm, a mind that is untrained and undisciplined is vulnerable to the storms of life, whether they take the form of stress, anxiety, emotional turbulence, or overwhelming desires. The Buddhist teaching reminds us that the path to lasting peace and happiness begins with the mind. But how do we, thatched, or protect our minds in today's fast-paced, distraction-heavy culture? Let's explore practical ways to cultivate a well-developed mind, one that can withstand the emotional and psychological challenges of modern life. These practices, though simple, can help you transform the way you experience the world, leading to a happier and more meaningful life. Mindfulness meditation. Developing awareness in a distracted world. Mindfulness is the foundation for cultivating inner peace and mental clarity. At its core, Mindfulness means paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It involves observing your thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise, rather than being swept away by them. In modern society, where multitasking has become the norm and our attention spans are fragmented, practicing mindfulness can feel like a radical act. We are constantly bombarded with notifications, advertisements, and the pressure to achieve more. This overstimulation pulls us in multiple directions, often leaving us feeling frazzled and disconnected from ourselves. By practicing mindfulness, we take a step back from this chaos. We learn to focus on the present moment, whether we are walking, eating, working, or simply breathing. This practice helps us become aware of the thoughts and desires that drive our actions. Over time, mindfulness enables us to recognize when our minds are being penetrated by unchecked passions or negative emotions, whether it's anger, jealousy, or anxiety. Imagine a scenario where you are scrolling through social media, and you come across a post that makes you feel envious. Without mindfulness, you might dwell on this feeling, allowing it to fester and affect your mood. But with mindfulness, you can catch the feeling as it arises, observe it without judgment, and choose not to let it control you. By simply becoming aware of the emotion, you create space between the stimulus, the post, and your reaction, envy, empowering yourself to respond in a healthier way. Mindfulness meditation, even if practiced for just a few minutes each day, can have a profound impact on your mental well-being. Start small, set aside 5 or 10 minutes each day to sit quietly, focus on your breath, and observe your thoughts as they come and go. You might find that over time, this practice helps you become more grounded, centered, and less reactive to external events. Living with intention, a roadmap for navigating modern life. One of the reasons why so many people feel lost or unfulfilled is because they are living on autopilot. We go through the motions of daily life, work, relationships, and entertainment, without asking ourselves why we do what we do. This lack of intentionality leaves us vulnerable to the whims of external influences. We become susceptible to societal pressures, advertising, and the need for validation from others. Living with intention means taking the time to reflect on your values, goals, and priorities. It involves aligning your actions with your deeper sense of purpose, rather than mindlessly following trends or seeking approval from others. This practice can be incredibly empowering, as it allows you to take control of your life and make choices that are meaningful to you. Consider how often we make decisions based on what others expect of us or what we think will make us look successful. Whether it's pursuing a certain career, buying the latest gadget, or trying to maintain a particular image on social media, these choices are often driven by external validation rather than true fulfillment. Living with intention encourages us to pause and reflect, is this what I really want? Does this align with my values? Will this bring me lasting happiness? A practical tool for living with intention is journaling. Take time each morning or evening to reflect on your day. What choices did you make? Were they aligned with your values? What are your goals for tomorrow? By writing down your thoughts and intentions, you create a habit of self-reflection that keeps you focused on what truly matters. Journaling also helps you track your emotional responses. If you find yourself feeling anxious or stressed, writing about the situation can help you uncover the underlying cause. Are you chasing something that doesn't truly align with your values? Are you being driven by external pressures rather than your own desires? This reflective practice helps you clarify your goals and keep your mind focused on what brings genuine happiness and fulfillment. Simplicity and moderation, the antidote to consumerism and overload. In today's culture, we are often encouraged to consume more products, more experiences, more entertainment. The underlying message is that happiness lies in acquisition. But the Buddhist teaching, echoed by many other wisdom traditions, suggests the opposite. True contentment comes from simplicity and moderation. When we live in a state of excess, constantly seeking more, our minds become cluttered with desires and distractions. We are never satisfied because there is always something new to acquire or achieve. This endless pursuit leaves us feeling restless and unfulfilled, much like a poorly thatched house being battered by the rain. Simplicity, on the other hand, invites us to focus on what truly matters. It encourages us to let go of the unnecessary and cultivate contentment with what we already have. By embracing simplicity, we free ourselves from the constant need for more and create space for inner peace. Moderation is key here as well. The Buddha often taught the middle way, a path of moderation between indulgence and deprivation. In today's world, this might mean striking a balance between enjoying life's pleasures without becoming consumed by them. For instance, it's perfectly fine to enjoy good food, entertainment, or material possessions, but not to the point where they dominate your life or become your sole source of happiness. Practical steps for embracing simplicity and moderation might include decluttering your physical space, reducing time spent on social media, or practicing mindful consumption. Before making a purchase, ask yourself, do I really need this? Will it bring lasting happiness, or is it a temporary pleasure? By being mindful of what we consume, whether it's material goods, entertainment, or information, we can create a more peaceful and contented mind. Cultivating compassion and patience, a remedy for emotional turbulence. At the heart of the Buddha's teachings is the cultivation of compassion, both for oneself and others. In a world where we are constantly comparing ourselves to others and feeling pressured to meet certain standards of success, compassion offers a powerful antidote to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, and anger. Compassion starts with understanding. We must first recognize that all beings, including ourselves, are subject to suffering. We experience frustration, disappointment, and pain because we are human. By acknowledging this shared experience, we can begin to treat ourselves and others with kindness and understanding, rather than harsh judgment. When we practice compassion, we stop holding ourselves and others to impossible standards. We recognize that everyone is doing their best, given their circumstances and level of awareness. This mindset helps reduce feelings of resentment, anger, and jealousy, which are often the result of unmet expectations or comparisons to others. Patience goes hand in hand with compassion. In today's fast-paced society, we are often in a rush to achieve success, meet goals, or gain recognition. This impatience can lead to frustration and burnout when things don't go as planned. However, by cultivating patience, we allow ourselves the time and space to grow at our own pace, without feeling pressured by external timelines. Practical ways to cultivate compassion and patience include practicing loving-kindness meditation, where you consciously send thoughts of goodwill to yourself and others. You might start by repeating phrases like, "May I be happy, may I be peaceful, may I be free from suffering," and then extend those wishes to others, including people you may have conflicts with. This practice helps soften the mind and opens the heart to kindness, even in difficult situations. Another approach is to practice self-compassion during moments of failure or frustration. When you make a mistake or fall short of your expectations, instead of criticizing yourself, acknowledge your effort and remind yourself that growth takes time. This practice of gentle self-acceptance fosters resilience and emotional well-being. By integrating these practices into your daily life, mindfulness, intentional living, simplicity, and compassion, you can begin to strengthen your mental foundation. These tools help shield your mind from the constant bombardment of external distractions and desires, allowing you to cultivate a life of peace, clarity, and fulfillment. Living mindfully and with intention, in a culture that constantly pulls us in different directions, is not easy. However, with consistent practice and reflection, you can begin to take control of your mental landscape, leading to a happier and more meaningful life. The benefits of a well-developed mind. In our fast-paced world, where instant gratification is often the norm and distractions are omnipresent, cultivating a well-developed mind is more critical than ever. The teachings of the Buddha provide us with invaluable tools to navigate this complexity and embrace a life characterized by inner peace and contentment. A well-trained mind not only enhances our emotional resilience but also deepens our relationships and brings us closer to a sense of fulfillment that transcends fleeting pleasures. Emotional resilience in a chaotic world. One of the most profound benefits of cultivating a well-developed mind is enhanced emotional resilience. Today's culture bombards us with stressors, whether from work pressures, societal expectations, or the relentless pace of life. This environment can easily lead to feelings of overwhelm, anxiety, and frustration. When our minds are governed by unchecked passions and desires, we become vulnerable to the storm of emotions that these pressures create. A momentary setback, a negative comment at work, a missed promotion, or a family conflict, can feel insurmountable, triggering a cascade of negative thoughts and emotions. However, by training our minds through practices such as mindfulness and reflection, we can build the emotional resilience necessary to withstand these challenges. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts and feelings without immediately reacting. When we experience stress, instead of becoming consumed by it, we can take a step back and observe it as a passing cloud in the sky. This ability to create space between stimulus and response allows us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, thereby reducing the emotional weight of challenging situations. Incorporating mindfulness practices into our daily routines can be as simple as setting aside a few minutes each day for quiet reflection. During this time, we can journal about our thoughts and feelings, exploring the roots of our stress and identifying patterns that may be influencing our emotional well-being. Journaling serves not only as a cathartic outlet but also as a tool for self-discovery, helping us understand ourselves more deeply and recognize the transient nature of our emotions. By acknowledging our emotions without judgment and allowing them to flow, we develop greater emotional resilience. We begin to realize that feelings of stress, anger, or sadness are not permanent states but rather temporary experiences that come and go. This understanding empowers us to navigate the highs and lows of life with greater ease. Deeper relationships through mindfulness and compassion. In a world that often prioritizes individual success and external validation, meaningful relationships can sometimes take a backseat. The constant barrage of social media updates and the pressure to maintain a polished online persona can lead us to neglect the authentic connections that nourish our souls. However, cultivating a well-developed mind fosters the qualities of compassion and empathy, which are essential for building deeper relationships. When we practice mindfulness, we become more present in our interactions with others. We learn to listen with intention, putting aside distractions and truly engaging with the person in front of us. This level of presence can transform our conversations, leading to a deeper understanding of one another's experiences and emotions. Compassion, another cornerstone of a well-developed mind, invites us to approach others with kindness and understanding. In our interactions, we can choose to respond with empathy rather than judgment, recognizing that everyone has their struggles and challenges. By practicing compassion, we create an environment where vulnerability is welcomed, allowing for authentic connections to flourish. In practical terms, this can be achieved through simple daily practices. For instance, during your day-to-day interactions, practice active listening. Instead of planning your response while the other person is speaking, focus entirely on their words and emotions. Reflect back what you hear, validating their feelings and demonstrating that you value their perspective. This approach not only strengthens your relationships but also cultivates a sense of belonging and mutual support. Additionally, consider incorporating acts of kindness into your routine. Small gestures, offering a compliment, helping someone in need, or simply asking someone how they are doing, can create ripples of positivity in your relationships. These acts of compassion foster connection and reinforce the idea that we are all in this together, navigating life's challenges side by side. Finding true fulfillment beyond external pursuits. In a culture often driven by material success and external achievements, the pursuit of true fulfillment can feel elusive. The modern narrative frequently equates happiness with wealth, status, and recognition, leading many to chase these fleeting desires in the hope of finding contentment. However, the Buddhist teachings remind us that genuine happiness arises from within, and it is cultivated through a well-developed mind. When we are rooted in mindfulness and self-awareness, we begin to recognize that external accomplishments do not define our worth. Instead, we can shift our focus inward, exploring what brings us joy, meaning, and purpose. This introspective journey is essential in cultivating a fulfilling life. One effective method to facilitate this self-discovery is through journaling. Taking time to reflect on our values, passions, and aspirations helps clarify what truly matters to us. Regular journaling allows us to track our growth, celebrate our achievements, big and small, and recognize patterns in our thoughts and emotions. By documenting our reflections, we gain insight into the activities and relationships that bring us joy and fulfillment. This practice not only cultivates gratitude but also encourages us to prioritize what truly matters in our lives. We begin to make choices aligned with our values, leading to a deeper sense of satisfaction and meaning. Additionally, consider engaging in activities that foster flow, those moments when you lose track of time and feel completely absorbed in what you're doing. This could be anything from painting, playing a musical instrument, or immersing yourself in nature. These experiences nourish the spirit and serve as a reminder that fulfillment often arises from simple joys rather than grand achievements. Practical strategies for a well-developed mind. While the benefits of cultivating a well-developed mind are clear, it is essential to approach this journey with practical strategies that can be easily integrated into daily life. Below are several actionable practices that can help reinforce the concepts discussed and support your path toward emotional resilience, deeper relationships, and true fulfillment. Mindful mornings. Start your day with intention by incorporating a mindful morning routine. Spend a few moments in quiet reflection or meditation, setting the tone for your day. This practice can help ground you and cultivate a sense of awareness before the busyness of life takes over. Daily gratitude practice. Take a moment each day to reflect on what you are grateful for. This can be done through journaling or simply acknowledging positive experiences. Gratitude shifts our focus away from what we lack and encourages a mindset of abundance. Digital detox. Consider setting boundaries with technology to minimize distractions. Designate specific times to check emails or social media, and allocate tech-free periods during the day. This can help you reconnect with the present moment and foster deeper connections with those around you. Mindful eating. Transform your meals into a mindful experience by savoring each bite and fully engaging with the process of eating. Notice the flavors, textures, and aromas of your food. This practice not only enhances your appreciation for nourishment but also encourages a healthier relationship with food. Nature immersion. Spend time in nature regularly, whether through walks in the park, hiking, or simply sitting outside. Nature has a profound effect on our mental well-being, offering a sense of calm and perspective that can be grounding amidst daily chaos. Compassion meditation. Practice loving-kindness meditation to cultivate compassion for yourself and others. Begin by focusing on yourself, wishing for your own happiness and well-being. Then gradually extend these wishes to loved ones, acquaintances, and even those you find challenging. This practice fosters empathy and deepens your connection to others. Reflective journaling. At the end of each day, take a few moments to journal about your experiences. Reflect on moments of joy, challenges you faced, and how you responded to them. This practice encourages self-awareness and highlights areas for growth, reinforcing the insights gained from mindfulness. Connection rituals. Establish regular connection rituals with loved ones, whether through shared meals, game nights, or simply taking time to catch up. These moments of togetherness foster deeper relationships and remind us of the importance of community and support. By incorporating these practices into your life, you create a strong foundation for cultivating a well-developed mind. The journey may require time and dedication, but the rewards are profound and lasting. Embracing the journey of inner growth. The teachings of the Buddha resonate powerfully in today's culture, offering a pathway to cope with modern challenges and cultivate a life filled with happiness and meaning. As we recognize the significance of a well-developed mind, we can embrace practices that nurture emotional resilience, deepen our relationships, and lead us to true fulfillment. The journey of inner growth is not a destination but a lifelong exploration. As we engage with these practices and integrate them into our daily lives, we will discover that the benefits of a well-developed mind extend far beyond ourselves. By fostering emotional resilience, compassion, and mindful awareness, we contribute to a more harmonious world, where individuals can thrive and find peace amidst the storms of life. Through the lens of the Buddha's teachings, we can transform our lives, break free from the cycle of suffering, and experience the profound joy that comes from living with a well-trained mind. The mind is our true shelter, finding peace in modern life. In a world characterized by constant change and a relentless pace, the teachings of the Buddha resonate with a profound clarity that is often overlooked. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, filled with demands from work, family, and social media, it's essential to remember that our minds serve as the lens through which we perceive and interact with the world. The quality of this lens determines our experiences, shaping our emotions, decisions, and ultimately, our happiness. Just as a sturdy, well-thatched house provides protection from the elements, a well-cultivated mind offers a refuge from the storms of life. Understanding the modern landscape of the mind. Today, many individuals find themselves trapped in a cycle of stress and dissatisfaction, influenced by an incessant stream of information and expectations. The advent of technology has transformed how we communicate, work, and engage with one another. While it brings opportunities for connection and growth, it also fosters a culture of comparison, superficiality, and disconnection from our inner selves. Social media, in particular, often presents an idealized version of life, leading many to feel inadequate or unfulfilled. This constant barrage of external stimuli can leave the mind feeling chaotic and fragmented, making it increasingly challenging to cultivate peace and stability. Moreover, the fast-paced lifestyle that has become the norm can overwhelm our mental faculties. Many individuals rush through their days, juggling responsibilities and obligations, often neglecting the critical need for introspection and mindfulness. As a result, passions and distractions seep into our minds, much like rain entering an ill-thatched house, leading to a sense of unease and dissatisfaction. This underscores the importance of developing a well-thatched mind, one that is prepared to withstand external pressures and cultivate a sense of inner peace. The power of mindfulness, a tool for resilience. Mindfulness is a cornerstone practice that can significantly enhance our ability to cope with modern challenges. At its core, mindfulness involves being present in the moment, fully aware of our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without judgment. By cultivating mindfulness, we can create a buffer against the distractions and demands of everyday life. One effective way to integrate mindfulness into our daily routines is through mindfulness meditation. Setting aside just a few minutes each day to sit in silence, focus on the breath, and observe our thoughts can transform how we relate to our experiences. Instead of reacting impulsively to emotions or stressors, mindfulness allows us to respond with intention and clarity. Over time, this practice builds mental resilience, empowering us to navigate difficulties with greater ease. In addition to meditation, incorporating mindfulness into everyday activities can help us remain grounded amid chaos. For instance, while eating, we can take a moment to savor each bite, appreciating the flavors and textures. During conversations, we can practice active listening, giving our full attention to the person speaking instead of planning our response. These small shifts in awareness can profoundly impact our overall sense of well-being. Journaling, a path to self-reflection and clarity. Another valuable tool for cultivating a well-thatched mind is journaling. Writing down our thoughts and feelings provides an outlet for self-expression and introspection. It helps us process our experiences and emotions, leading to greater self-awareness and clarity. Journaling can be especially beneficial for individuals grappling with stress, anxiety, or confusion about their lives. By setting aside time each day or week to reflect on our thoughts and experiences, we create space for deeper understanding. We can explore our passions, identify patterns in our behavior, and gain insight into what truly matters to us. This practice allows us to step back from the whirlwind of daily life and engage in meaningful self-reflection, fostering a sense of peace and direction. To make journaling a more effective tool, consider incorporating prompts that encourage exploration of your thoughts and emotions. For example, ask yourself questions like, "What am I grateful for today?" Or, "What challenges did I face, and how did I respond?" These prompts can help direct your focus toward the positive aspects of your life while also fostering a deeper understanding of your reactions and emotions. Creating meaningful connections in a distracted world. In addition to nurturing our inner selves, the cultivation of a well-thatched mind allows us to engage more meaningfully with others. Modern life often fosters superficial connections, with many relationships existing primarily in the digital realm. However, cultivating a mind grounded in mindfulness and compassion enables us to develop deeper, more authentic connections. When we approach relationships with presence and intention, we are better equipped to understand and empathize with others. By practicing active listening and compassion, we create a safe space for open communication and connection. This can lead to more fulfilling relationships, where individuals feel seen, heard, and valued. In times of stress or uncertainty, these meaningful connections serve as a source of support, reminding us that we are not alone in our struggles. To foster these connections, we can engage in simple yet powerful practices. Consider scheduling regular check-ins with friends or loved ones, where you can share your thoughts and feelings openly. You might also participate in community activities that encourage collaboration and connection, such as volunteering or joining local interest groups. These shared experiences foster a sense of belonging and reinforce the idea that we are all interconnected. Embracing simplicity and moderation. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, it's essential to remember the value of simplicity and moderation. Our culture often promotes excess and constant striving, leading to burnout and dissatisfaction. In contrast, embracing a simpler lifestyle can cultivate a sense of peace and contentment. Simplifying our lives can begin with small changes. For instance, we can declutter our physical spaces, creating an environment that feels more serene and inviting. This process encourages us to let go of material possessions that no longer serve us, making room for what truly matters. As we simplify our external surroundings, we can also work on decluttering our mental landscapes by focusing on what brings us joy and fulfillment. Moderation in our pursuits is equally important. Instead of chasing after every desire or trend, we can practice discernment in our choices. For instance, when it comes to social media, consider setting boundaries on usage. Allocate specific times for checking social platforms rather than scrolling mindlessly throughout the day. This simple act can free up mental space and time for more meaningful activities, such as spending time with loved ones or engaging in hobbies that bring us joy. Finding meaning in daily life. Ultimately, the pursuit of a well-thatched mind is about finding meaning in our daily lives. When we align our thoughts and actions with our core values, we create a sense of purpose that transcends external circumstances. This sense of purpose acts as a guiding light, helping us navigate challenges with resilience and clarity. To cultivate this sense of meaning, we can engage in activities that resonate with our passions and values. Whether it's pursuing a hobby, volunteering for a cause we care about, or dedicating time to personal growth, these activities nurture our sense of purpose. They remind us that our lives are not merely a series of tasks or obligations but an opportunity to contribute to something greater than ourselves. Moreover, it's essential to celebrate the small victories and joys along the way. By acknowledging our progress and achievements, no matter how minor, we reinforce a positive mindset and cultivate gratitude for our experiences. Consider creating a gratitude jar, where you can write down moments of joy, gratitude, or inspiration throughout the week. Over time, this practice creates a tangible reminder of the beauty and meaning present in everyday life. The journey toward a well-thatched mind. Cultivating a well-thatched mind is an ongoing journey that requires commitment and practice. Just as a house needs regular maintenance to remain strong and protective, our minds require continuous care and attention. The teachings of the Buddha offer us the tools and insights needed to build resilience against the storms of modern life. As we embrace practices like mindfulness, journaling, and meaningful connection, we equip ourselves to navigate life's challenges with grace and clarity. The mind becomes our true shelter, a source of strength, peace, and fulfillment that remains steadfast amid the chaos of the world. In closing, remember that the journey toward a well-thatched mind is not a destination but a continuous process of growth and discovery. With each step, we move closer to living a life rich in meaning, joy, and inner peace. Embrace this journey, for it is one that ultimately leads to a deeper understanding of ourselves and a more fulfilling existence in a world that often pulls us in countless directions. The true shelter lies within, waiting to be cultivated and cherished. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's reading and found it inspiring. We look forward to seeing you next time as we continue our journey through the teachings of the Buddha. Your presence means a lot to us, and we can't wait to share more wisdom with you. Until then, take care and stay mindful.